everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am your host, Ryan Doze, and on today's episode, we're sharing a part of our conversation that we did on last episode about all the comics we missed over the summer. You got to hear part of that where we talked about Loki, Doctor Strange, Hela, Hellrune, all of our favorite Asgardian adjacent characters and what they've been up to. Well, on today's episode, we're sharing the part of our conversation where we talked about what else we're reading right now, what we've read over the summer. There's a lot of good stuff in this shorter episode, but I think you're going to enjoy it. So please jump back into this part of the conversation with myself, Eric, and Faz as we talk about everything else we were reading over the summer. Here's the portion where I just want to know what else we've been reading. What else has been going on in our pull lists? Either you want to jump in first?
Well,
I've been reading Absolute Superman, and it's absolutely getting a little more complicated because I don't know all the DC stuff, and it's still a very enjoyable book, and it still lives up to the promise of, like, you don't have to know that stuff. You can just do the jump on and it's all fresh. Yeah. But I think a little bit of context might make some of the stuff land a little bit better. I read the gross one where they do all the body stuff. The latest one.
So you're caught up then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I think that when the arc finishes, Jason said I think it was 14, the first arc, you'll feel like you have everything you need.
Okay.
Listeners, I have the insider info because Jason Aaron came to Fan Expo Canada specifically to hang out with me. That's not true. But he did have a panel and he gave a bunch of absolute info while he was there. I think, Eric, that they're going to tie it all together in 14 and then the next status quo shift starts.
Well, good. Well, let's do it.
What else are you reading?
I finished up the Miles Morales God War part. That was like back in August, so that wasn't super recent. Yeah. I was a little frustrated that Hercules only had very tiny parts, and now that story has moved on to something else, and Hercules is now only in Astonishing Avengers on Infinity, and that's the only place that my boy Herc is showing up right now.
He's not on like any of the new Avengers teams? Aren't there like 3?
No. I'm reading Imperial because I am on the lookout for Hulkling and Wiccan sightings, and luckily there have been some, to the point where I think a lot of Wiccan and Hulkling fans will be happy that they are going to be coming out of space and coming back to Earth, and it is a little bit of a reset after the events of Empire when Teddy became the king of space. Now they're kind of backpedaling from that, and he's no longer going to be emperor of the Kree Skrull alliance. The alliance is fizzling, and out of that, we are getting 2 things that are important because I'm a big fanboy. We're getting a we're getting a Wiccan miniseries, and
Witch's Road, right?
Witch's Road. It's a mini, and then we're getting a Nova ongoing called Nova Centurion. And so those are both spinning out of Imperial, which is awesome.
And those are both Eric-made things right there. So is Hickman doing Imperial just for you? Is that what's happening here?
He got my texts and he said, we want your buddies to spend more time on Earth when we can write more stories that are not just ridiculous space stories. And they said, okay.
Ridiculous space stories.
I mean, I like space stuff. I'm okay with space stuff, but like, it makes it so no other characters can interact with you unless you're in the Shi'ar Empire. Like, freaking, come on! Like,
after the 8th Gladiator cameo, you're like, I don't care.
I was going to say
anybody else.
God, quit kicking Gladiator's ass! Oh my God, Eric, any other books that you're just loving? That you're reading right now?
I'm reading Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I guess I'm just reading everything Jason Aaron's writing except Uncle Scrooge. I did pick up one issue of that. Bug Wars, we're waiting for sort of the next round to come around with that. But Jason Aaron is just crushing it as always. So
he's writing every character everywhere.
Everyone everywhere all at once. Right after he told us he wanted to take a break.
Yeah, right? Little did we know that next year would be one of his busiest years ever. I think he wrote for 5 different major companies that year.
Yeah, that's what happens when your contract ends up and you're not exclusive anymore, right? You get going. I've been reading a lot of Superman because listeners, you should be listening to the Deific Duo's Journey into Mystery: Road to 800. I have finished the next set of 100, and I'm just waiting on my prestigious co-host to catch up because I was on a beach for a week, so I was able to just read, and I burned through those comics like a knife through butter. So now I read All-Star Superman for the first time. It lived up to the hype. I don't know if it's the best Superman story I've ever read, but it's definitely one of the best. So it definitely fits. I think I preferred Birthright, but it was very good. Yeah. I also read the rest of Dan Mora and Mark Waid's World's Finest, which was very good. It was excellent the whole way through. It continued to be really good. Ryan, why are you making that face? Do you know anything about World's Finest?
I feel like you should know. That's one of my DC books.
Oh, really? I didn't know that you were actually collecting it. That's cool. Yeah.
No, seriously, World's Finest is the only Superman book I collect and the only Batman book I collect.
Yeah, it's great. I missed the Mora art. The previous, the future artists haven't been quite as good, but the story is still very fun.
I'll get to my World's Finest thoughts because that's one of the books I actually kept up with over the summer during my
Now, I should note I'm reading on Infinite, so I'm 2 issues behind. So don't spoil the new.
I will not spoil because they just started a brand new arc. So I won't spoil the beginning of that. But are you reading anything outside of Superman?
I read the actual Superman book. I'm caught up to that. And I just started Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I read the first issue of it. It was incredible. And I understand that it's one of the greatest DC stories ever told. So I'm excited for that. I think it's 8 issues. Basically, I've got some time to kill, listeners, while I went way too fast, and now I have to wait because Eric's actually enjoying his food, whereas I shoveled it down very quickly. and while that happens, I'm going to enjoy some all-time great DC runs. I'm not doing any ongoings in DC except Joshua Williamson's Superman because I don't want to take any on and then be disappointed in them because... there's so many that people say, it's not like Thor where I want to read them all to read them all. I don't want to read a Superman run that people say is fine. I only want to read the best stuff. So I am reading the absolute stuff, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And I am going to read the other absolutes eventually. But the real thing that I have to say I'm reading is Ultimates, guys. Ultimates is fucking amazing. And Will Moss gave us crumbs that the God
I was
going to
say, were you happy?
and Juan Frigeri just opened up his commission list for New York Comic Con, so you better believe I'm getting the fucking Thor. It's going to look so good on my blank cover of Thor: God and Thunder. That's what he's going to do it on. I don't know if I'm going to do a full character or just a torso, but I'm really excited.
Just a torso?
What
about the head?
Just the torso. I just want to see the lights on his chest. That's it. No Mjolnir, no Thor face, just the torso. Yeah.
It's those pectorals, bruh.
Yeah, I just want to see those metal abs or whatever, right? But I've read Ultimates. It's great. Ultimate Endgame starts in December.
It does.
That's the ultimate end to the Ultimates run so far. I don't think it's the end to the Ultimate universe, but it is the start of the next Ultimate arc. And you guys will remember from our All Ultimates issue that we used the word Ultimate every third word, and it was painful to listen to. So that'll be us when they get through
ultimately painful, actually.
It was ultimately painful.
Oh, and I'm just saying, for the art that you've been getting at Comic-Cons, it's going to be really hard to top that Marco Cicchetto art.
It's going to be hard, but I have my heart set on Dan Mora at New York Comic Con, and if I can get I
think a lot of people have their heart set on Dan Mora. Yeah. Just period. See one of our recent bonus episodes, come on everybody. Now. we have thoughts about Dan Mora and Jorge Jimenez. Good looking bastard.
So talented and hot. What the hell?
God damn it. So yeah, really guys, the 2 books that I kept up with over the summer and during our break, I kind of just needed a little bit of time away from comics. I don't read nearly as fast as the guys do. So I kept up with 2 books. I kept up with World's Finest. It is the epitome, the peak of a comfort read for me. Mark Waid's writing is so fun. And Adrian Gutierrez, who took over for the interiors. Dan Mora still does the covers, but Adrian Gutierrez took over for the interiors, and he did so well. He was nominated for Best Newcomer Eisner.
Yeah, and it is good. It's just not Dan Mora, but it is good.
And I've had the privilege of just messaging a little bit with Adrian in the past on Instagram. Fantastic guy. From everything we've interacted with, just a really cool guy that I hope gets a lot of opportunities, even past World's Finest.
Eric, if we can get you into more DC, World's Finest starts with the first issue is kind of a soft start of the continuity, so you don't need anything. You can just start at 1 and go.
Yeah, it's a fun book. That's what I'll say. The current storyline that Faz has not gotten to yet is bonkers.
Is it the one with the people that you would describe as backwards? Because if so, then I think I've read the first. I've read the first one then, and it was very cool.
The way that Wade writes Bizarro World is so weird and funny.
Yeah. It's just like how it's written in All-Star Superman. So after reading this issue, I was like, oh, okay, we're in Bizarro World. Perfect. That's exactly how I remember it.
I really enjoyed it. And what I love, I'm a big Aquaman fan. I've enjoyed the Aquaman book so far. That was a book that, kind of like what Eric mentioned with Doctor Strange, starting off in a different status quo. Aquaman started off in a very different status quo than people are used to. And I'm kind of ready for us to get back to a little more familiar status quo.
Did you like the World's Finest Aquaman story?
I did, but my issue with that was that it leans into something that happens with Asgard and Atlantis all the time. These kingdoms are always at the brink of civil war.
I hate when Asgard and Atlantis fight, They're really tough, tough positions.
Atlantis is always, in an Aquaman book, it's like, oh, we don't trust Arthur as our king anymore. It's like
it's just because you said Asgard. I'm giving you shit for that.
I know. I'm angsty about
blowing past.
Aquaman.
Isn't it Poseidopolis or something? Isn't it Poseidon?
Poseidonus.
That sounds made up.
It is. It's all made up.
Unlike Atlantis, which is absolute fact.
Totally real. Totally real.
I really enjoyed the whole, you guys got to let me fight this battle because I'm super strong under the sea. And if Superman helps me, people are going to be like, well, it's just because of Superman. Fuck you. And then he just dominates. I did enjoy that.
It was basically Arthur's way of saying, like, hey, Supes, please don't nerf me in front of my own people.
Yeah. Don't make me look bad in front of the wizards.
And then Mara speaks up for him, and it's like, Mara, you're making him look bad in front of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is Aquaman being like
the number of quotes from Moore, like especially the Batman Robin relationship, like Aquaman tells like a fish to do something and it goes off and does it, and Robin's like, oh, you can control fish, that's so cool. And Batman's like, he doesn't control them, he just asks them nicely and they respect him, so they do it. And Robin's like, wow, so they're not slaves, must be nice. It's just like, geez, like the whole thing is like that. At one point they time travel and he's in the future and Superman goes like, oh, Tim? And he's like, no. And he's like, Damien? And he's like, no. And he's like, but like, cause like Nightwing's there, right? And he's like, who are you? And he's like, oh, it must be a different Robin. And he's like, how many Robins are there? Cause he's just the first Robin, right? He's Dick. So he's all panicked. And then Superman's like, never mind, moving on.
Wade's so good on that book. I'm the one thing besides like Aquaman getting like nerfed and just not asking the other superheroes to make him look bad was I loved that Swamp Thing shows up.
Yeah,
and
that was
he's
really
just
fun.
like, he's like, hey, Floronic Man, about to get fucked. It's like Swamp Thing shows up and you're just like, oh, okay, we're on a different level here now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, stop using the green, you douchebag. And then he's like, wait, are you using the green? Cool, because I can control the green. Yeah.
I love that most of this is probably going over Eric's head.
Eric's like, what does any of this mean?
I'm just waiting until I can mention that Battle Beast is awesome and this DC stuff is so boring.
I agree. I don't agree with Eric's last point. I vehemently disagree. But I agree with his first point. Battle Beast.
I'm telling Mark Waid when I see him that you hate him, Eric.
He doesn't know who Eric is.
and Eric doesn't care about Mark Waid.
Eric doesn't know. But I agree with you, Eric. Battle Beast fucks, and it's awesome.
It's great.
What are you liking about it? Because it's Invincible adjacent.
I know. See, here's the best part. I know nothing about Invincible other than there's a cartoon about it, and that kids these days consider this like old school comics. Oh, back when Invincible was coming, I'm like, so I know it has a great reputation, but it's not. It's relatively new. What I love about Battle Beast is the characterization, because you can tell that there's maybe like just the tiniest crack in the facade, and there's like a little hero in there. There's like a little bit of a hero in there, and he is all ego and grunge and aggressive, but I think there's a little something to it. He's got like a warm gooey center at the heart of it all. So
he doesn't look like he has a warm gooey center from the photos I see. He looks like a badass ninja warrior.
No, he is.
It looks like someone who eats gooey centers.
I feel like he probably likes Oreos, because all the coolest badasses like Oreos, and they have. He
has his own moral code in a weird way.
Yes. And he comes from a planet where aggression is like the most desirable virtue.
Yeah.
So no, it's a very yes, so hot. Guys, is there any other comics we should talk about? We're probably gonna have to break this off into its own little sub episode. Any other things in comics that we're especially enjoying right now? If not, I mean,
I've been reading so much Thor, and I can't talk about that until we get into the next one.
Yeah.
As a teaser for the Deific Duo's Journey into Mystery, I've completed DeFalco. Will Spotted Bear be praised? I've done it for him. Because that's his Thor growing up. There are a number of lore shifts, because after DeFalco, we get Roy Thomas coming back, trying to change the lore back to the way that he had it. So, guys, you have so much fun to look forward to, Eric. You're going to read some comics, and you're going to be like, those are some of the comics of all time.
Those certainly are.
Those are some of the comics of all time. That's fantastic. Eric, do you have any other final parting shots?
There's a comic called Viking Moon that I'm taking a flyer on coming up later this month, September 24th. Issue 1 comes out. It's from Image Comics. It's basically Vikings versus werewolves, I think. So we're going to see what that's like. I think it's a mini series. So
I will be picking that up.
Vikings, like, will they have like powers, or are they just guys with swords and shields?
I think it's just regular Vikings, unless they are halfway turned into werewolves. And so then who knows what could happen.
Vibes.
Oh gosh, that is exciting. That is very cool. I'm all for like anything like Vikings versus werewolves or knights versus vampires.
Here's the year of the versus,
shit like that.
Godzilla versus Kong versus DC. Godzilla versus the Marvel universe. Godzilla
any
versus
crossover.
Alien versus Predator. Alien versus Avengers.
Yes. Everybody, thank you so much for checking out this episode, the Across the Bifrost New Comics Summer Special, which I'm
not swimsuit special.
What?
Not swimsuit special. I was bamboozled.
Not swimsuit. Don't be fooled.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That was everything that we've been reading over the summer. I hope you maybe saw some things in what we've been reading, what we've been especially excited about, and maybe you go check out some Superman. Maybe you check out Imperial or Ultimates or Battle Beast or any of the other books we mentioned in this episode. They're well worth your time and your reading experience, no matter what else you've got on your pull list. So I just want to say here at the end that you can reach out to us on Instagram. You can join us on Patreon if you want bonus episodes that we do for you when we get together for these recordings. You can also leave us a star rating and a review if you're feeling generous and you want to help out the show in a small way. That would be fantastic. But really, just remember, whether you're reading books from DC, whether you're reading books from Marvel or Image or Dark Horse or any of the other great publishers out there that are putting out comics on a regular basis, wherever you're at in the Nine Realms, whatever you're doing, we just want to remind you to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy.